All right, testing 1, 2, 3. We are live. Hello, everybody. My name is Andrew, and welcome to Rocket Future. We are live from Highway 4, just outside of Starbase, down here in South Texas, where SpaceX is working on the orbital launch mount at the Starbase build facility, or launch facility, actually. First and foremost, I just saw that we got our first ever super chat from Senti. So big shout out to Senti. Thank you so much for that super chat. It is very, very appreciated. We just hit the partnership thresholds on YouTube a few days ago, so we now have the ability to get super chats and memberships and all that stuff. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little while. So let's talk a little bit about what we're seeing tonight. So first and foremost, I'm going to try to set up my other camera here, which should get us an even better view of the orbital launch mount. So I have one camera set up on it now. I am interested in trying my second camera, which I think is going to get us an even better view of what we're seeing up on the OLM right now. So I'll be working on that shortly when I step off commentary for a few minutes. But we see crews working kind of all over the OLM right now. Lots of welding or grinding going on, probably a little bit of both. Let me zoom out a little bit here for you. And then, of course, at 10 Central, which is just about 20 minutes from now, there is a intermittent road delay scheduled. You can't really see the base of the OLM from this angle, but yeah, there's a bunch of folks around. So we don't know what that road delay is scheduled for yet, but I did take a look. I don't believe it's anything that could be rolled to or from the Massey's test facility to the build site, based on the fact that there are Jersey barriers. Historically, they've moved those Jersey barriers out of the way when they were going to do something rolling between the build site and the Massey's facility. So unless they can fit something down one lane of traffic, which is possible, we'll wait to see. But I don't necessarily expect anything to be rolling to or from the Massey's facility. As far as something rolling to or from the build site to the launch site, vice versa, again, there's no cones out, so I'm not really expecting to see that either. So it's kind of a big question mark at the moment what this road delay is scheduled for, or of course maybe they could choose not to use the road delay that they've scheduled. I haven't actually checked in the last few minutes to see if they've canceled anything or not. But yeah, as of right now, we're watching, waiting, and hanging out, watching the OLM, and we'll see what we see. My OBS is not showing me chat, which is really unfortunate. I'm trying to view chat via Streamlabs, but let me just view regular chat to see if I can see it. Okay, yep, I do have our chat available now. So Need Pizza, welcome. B7 will probably move back from Massey's. Again, I don't know if B7.1 will take up more than one lane of traffic. I'm not sure. Senti says, yes, greetings all. Thanks, Rocket Future, for going live. Again, thank you again for that super chat. Very, very much appreciated. Let me make sure that we're looking good. And then I'll start working on setting up that other camera. Yeah, it looks like we're looking pretty good here. Yeah, so welcome everybody. If you're just joining us, I was just mentioning that we will be waiting to see what happens at 10, if anything is rolling anywhere to anywhere. So stand by for that. I'm going to set up our second camera. Need Pizza says the closure is still on the website. Okay, so that's good to know. So they could potentially still be planning to use that today. There's some theories that Booster 7 could be lifted onto the OLM, but as we can see right now, they are hard at work on the OLM. I wouldn't expect them to do that at 10. So yeah, I mean, who knows what they can get done in the next couple hours here on the OLM. If they wrap a bunch of stuff up, could they lift B7? Potentially. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here to see if we can see what that flashing is on the bottom left. I'm sure some more welding going on, but I think they're going to be blocked by those. Yeah. I can always roll down on the highway a little bit here to get a better view, but yeah, so give me about 5 minutes to set up this other camera. If you have any other questions, please feel free to drop those right in the chat, and I can try to answer those for you. Headline looks good. I think we're good here. All right, let me get that other camera set up. Alright, checking back in. Oh, I see that the camera is frozen. There we go. Checking back in. Let's see. We got Detroit Mission Control here. Detroit is in the house. Welcome, Dad. Dad's here. What's going on at Starbase tonight? We are waiting to see. Civilized Joke says, I wonder if they moved the booster for welding access. They did some work on the OLM that would indicate that is the case. I think they replaced some clamps and such. And Detroit is asking if there's live commentary tonight or just a camera shot. There will be commentary off and on as we go here. It might not be a super long stream, depending if we see any indication of anything big happening towards 10 or 11. If things are still quiet after that, we might decide to wrap things up. We'll have to see. So I actually don't know if I'm going to be able to get the second camera up here tonight, which is okay. We can handle this one for now. I can try to make some adjustments on this one to kind of key in a little bit on our video quality. I traveled to Florida last weekend for a couple different reasons, but while I was there, I tried to do the relativity launch, and as we know, that did not end up launching. But I believe, unfortunately, one of the cables that I do need for the second camera is still packed away in my other bag. So I don't think we're going to be able to get the second camera up. There's a chance I do have an extra cable in here somewhere, so I'm just going to look around. And alternatively, I can also the camera has built-in Wi-Fi, so I can try to just stream an RTMP to my laptop as well. But we'll see if it's even worth it. But I'll look around the Jeep a little bit to see if I have an extra cable. As you can see, still a lot going on in the OLM. That bright light facing us is them welding, actually. Some sparks below from some grinding going on. Detroit says, are they working on the water deluge? As far as I know, they are not, but I'll take a little bit of a walk around the site here in a few minutes as well, just to make sure we're not missing any action. I could always move the Jeep to a place that has a better view of, if there's anything specific interesting happening. But as you can see, a bunch of people on top of the OLM. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you. Welding going on in multiple locations. And we're still not sure what that road delay at 10 is for yet. One of the bigger reasons I wanted to set up the second camera is just because this IP camera does that funny thing where not the entire frame gets updated. As you can see, like those railings kind of persist a little bit and they bounce up and down with the image, which is really strange. It's just kind of how these IP cameras work, and they try not to update. They try not to update the entire image at once to save on bandwidth. But Detroit is thinking a May launch. I hope it doesn't take that long. I also don't think it'll take that long, but we just don't know. Lots of grinding going up underneath the platform too. You can see that. Stephanie B is watching from Australia. Welcome, Stephanie B. But yeah, before I kind of take a quick look around the Jeep, I do want to take a quick moment just to another huge shout out to the community. You might remember last stream or the stream before that, we were trying to push for all of the watch hours we would need to apply for a YouTube partnership, and the community came out in crazy numbers to help us with that. And in that stream, we went above and beyond the numbers that we needed to get to apply for a YouTube partnership. So since then, we've applied for partnership and we were accepted. So Rocket Future is officially a YouTube partnered channel, which is great, which just means that we will continue to be able to build this channel up and potentially get some ways of earning some money through the channel, and I'll be able to invest that back into the channel, and we'll offer bigger and better content as we go along here. That also allows us to make ad revenue. It makes us eligible to have community members sign up as memberships and support the channel on a monthly basis. So you'll see that join button now that will allow you to join the channel as a member for whatever level you choose from. If you want to go, again, that would be above and beyond to help support the channel. Super chats and super thanks are also now enabled. So again, all of these things are ways that y'all can help us continue to build this channel up, but only if you can and you want to. Otherwise, you being here to watch and to hang out and to chat helps us tremendously as well. So thanks in advance for anybody who does decide to do those things. But if not, just thanks to everybody that is here as well, just hanging out with us and supporting. Stephanie B says, happy to be a moderator if you want. Absolutely, actually, that's a great idea. I definitely will need some mods in the channel coming up. So Stephanie, I will reach out. I might be able to even do that for this stream if I take a moment in a few minutes to try to figure that out. But yes, thank you. Thanks for reaching out about that. It's a breezy day down here at Starbase. I think it's going to get breezier too over the next 24 hours as the cold front rolls in. It's about 70 degrees tonight, but over the next couple days it's going to drop a little bit, or it's going to drop quite a bit. So I'm curious what they want to get done here before this cold front wraps in. We're just about 4 minutes until that road delay is scheduled, so I'm going to take a 5-minute break from commentary to walk up towards the entrance of the launch facility and check to see if there's any indication of anything major happening. And Stephanie B, thank you so much for becoming the first ever Rocket Future member. That is really amazing. Thank you, Stephanie B, for becoming a mid-bay member. And a big shout out again to Senti earlier for our first super chat. So that is really, really awesome, Stephanie. Thank you so much for becoming our first ever member for the channel. So yeah, give me about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go walk up to the build site. Max Q likes the name. What's the weather like down there now? I think maybe you'll hear that come through here in a minute. All right, I'm gonna take a quick walk to make sure we're not missing anything. Stand by. If the video freezes, I'm not sure why that's happening, but if it does, I'll be back shortly to fix that. So don't worry. All right, I am back from my walk. I'll give you an update of what I saw here in a second. Stephanie says, I wonder why they put all the extra counterweights on S26 SPMT just to move it into the high bay. It's a really good question. Yeah, so here's a little bit of an update. So I walked down to the entrance of the launch facility where, generally speaking, you would see some sort of indication if there was going to be a rollout or a rollback imminent. There are no cones, no additional sheriffs, just the one sheriff that's usually on site. No sort of activity that looks like anything will be arriving or departing the launch site anytime soon. And again, to recap, if you missed it earlier, I don't believe anything will be rolling to or from the Massey's test facility either, based on the fact that they still have the jersey barriers in place between the two lanes. So if there's anything to roll, it would have to be real small that would fit on one single lane. So I don't even know if they can get a single SPMT down there. But we'll have to see. So some other alternatives, I don't know if they would roll something from the build site to the Rocket Garden or the Rocket Garden to the build site using just that small piece of Highway 4. Alternatively, we could see a lift of Booster 7 after they slow down the work on the OLM here. Or they might not use today's intermittent road delay at all. There's a lot of work going on the OLM, though, that I could see as I was walking around. It seems like teams are having a little bit of a blast working tonight. They have music going, and there's all sorts of welding and stuff going on all around the OLM. It seems like to me that maybe this is a higher number of people than we usually see working on the OLM at this time of the night. So I think maybe this is like just a push to get everything done that they need to get done. So if you're just joining us, you might be wondering when is this thing going to finally launch? And of course, we don't know a date yet, but there was an update today. Let me get that update for you. It's not a date, but it is good news. So Tom Ochenero from SpaceX had said that they are so close to launching Starship and that they are waiting for the FAA license so we can announce the launch date. I saw another quote that was a little bit more in depth that really made it sound like it really could be very soon. So again, what does very soon mean? We don't know. Could it be days, weeks, or months? All of those could be possible, so we'll just have to wait and see. Detroit is just saying how they use the counterweights on the SPMT to lower the center of gravity. So I think maybe Stephanie was just wondering if it was needed just to go such a short distance. They usually use testing closures for booster lifts. They did do an intermittent, they did an intermittent closure one day for ship lift on top of Booster 7, but yeah, true. They're always changing processes and procedures here, so you never quite know, but that's a good point. A lot of welding that needs to happen still. Absolutely. And thank you, Dad, for being an OLM member. Thank you for signing up as an OLM member on the channel. That is awesome. Thank you so much. That goes a long way to help us build out the channel. Second ever channel member. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Thank you. So I was hoping to bring y'all a little bit of a better view. But like I said, I do have the second camera not really working right now. But let's see what we can do here for you otherwise. Maybe I can raise up the exposure a little bit. See how that looks. It doesn't really look any better. Let's play with our focus and our zoom. I'm also keeping a look on just Highway 4 to make sure I'm not seeing any activity of anything with the road. So yeah, there's a lot of work going on kind of near the booster quick disconnect area, or it might not be on the quick disconnect, but it's in that general area over to the right hand side. You can see that orange lift there. A lot of lights going on there, a lot of work being done. A lot of random various welding happening between these panels and underneath. So the teams continue to just kind of do the closeout work on the orbital launch mount prior to getting Booster 7 back onto the pad here. If you're extremely new to the Starship Starbase program, I'll just give you a quick little summary. That way you can get caught up with what we're seeing here. Senti says, hey, Rocket Future, congrats on the YouTube partnership. Thank you so much, Senti. It's really all y'all that has helped me with that goal. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Senti. So, wow, look at all of that going up. All those grinding going on top of the OLM. So, Starbase, yeah, just a quick summary in case you don't know what you're looking at. We're down at SpaceX's launch facility for their new rocket that they're building called Starship. When it launches, it'll be the world's most powerful rocket ever, largest, most powerful rocket ever. It is designed to bring humans back to the moon. It will be designed to bring humans and supplies to Mars, and also potentially someday could be used for point-to-point travel here on Earth. So rather than getting in a 737 and flying from New York to London in however many hours, it might be able to take you a half hour. But that is a long ways away, and only if this vehicle works exactly as they are expecting. That's kind of the overview of the program. It's a giant stainless steel rocket. Everything's built here by SpaceX, right up the street at the build facility, with the exception of the engines, which are built otherwise still by SpaceX, just not here at Starbase. So what we're looking at right now is the orbital launch mount. So this is where the rocket would sit on top of. And this is where you would see the countdown and eventually would launch off of this orbital launch mount. Let me do a little bit of a zoom out here so you can see the whole tower as well. It's pretty dark out here tonight, so I don't really know how well you'll be able to see. But this will give you a little bit of a better idea of what we're looking at. So this tower next to it, of course, is the launch tower. The vehicle would sit on top of the orbital launch mount down there on the left and extend towards the top of the tower almost all the way up. The first stage of the rocket is called Super Heavy. There is one just to the right there, but it's really being blown out by that yellow light. And the second stage is called Starship. So they're hoping to launch this thing pretty dang soon. They've gotten a lot of the check marks that they got to complete done. It seems like that they have some more work to do on the orbital launch mount, which is all of the activity we're seeing tonight. Also potentially some work on Ship 24, which we actually did see. I think thanks to Vix for posting the fact that it looks like those two heat shield tiles that were still missing from Ship 24, where the hook used to be for the crane hookup, has been filled, which is a great sign. Really, really awesome that we're seeing all these things marked off prior to finally getting a launch day booked and seeing this thing get up in the air. Stephanie, I wonder if that grinding welding is to do with the big flat steel plates that have been lifting up there the last day or so. I did see those. I am curious. I'm not sure. Plus, they've been lifting new smaller plates down in the center rim of the OLM. Yeah, I think there's some thoughts that those might have to do with the words are escaping me. The grippers. What the heck are they called? But yeah. yeah, huge shout out to Vix. Always pulling out what's happening, the latest from Starbase with all of the cameras that various channels are providing here at Starbase. Detroit says, has SpaceX opened up its Raptor manufacturing facility at McGregor, Texas yet? They're doing a ton of testing there at McGregor. All the time they're running engine tests there. But to be completely honest with you, I'm not sure where they're currently doing the booster clamps. Yes, thank you, Stephanie. That's exactly what I was trying to think of, the booster clamps. But that's a great question, Detroit. I'm actually not entirely sure. Let me know if anybody knows if they're actually manufacturing the engines, the Raptor 2s at McGregor. And my dad says, my pleasure, all for a great cause to infinity and beyond. Thank you very much for the membership. That's awesome. Yeah, I've actually been blown away by the numbers here on the channel. We were really pushing for that 1,000 subscriber goal and then the 4,000 watch hours. And then one of our videos went viral in India, which brought our 1,000 subscriber count up to like 8,000, which is absolutely insane. That was not expected in the least. So it's pretty crazy that we're actually closing in on 10,000 subs here. It might take us, I don't know when that video is going to die off. And when the momentum of that video dies off, it might still take us a while to get up to 10,000. But if that momentum continues, then we might hit that in the next couple of days. Need Pizza said they fired a Falcon 9 first stage today at McGregor. I did see that, and I think I saw that the firing was a little bit shorter than we would expect. I think somebody from NASA Spaceflight put out a comment saying that they expected the firing to be a little bit longer. So I'd be curious if we see that booster get shipped to its destination at the Cape or California, or if they're going to do some more testing on that. For all we know, it could be perfectly fine. They may just have lowered the duration of these tests or something. We'll have to wait and see. But it's cool to see new Falcon 9s being built, as we do still see some of those vehicles get expended from time to time. Stephanie says, India loves Rocket Future. Cool. Absolutely. Brandon says, damn, if March is the goal, then it's close. I will put it this way. If launch gets pushed further past March, I will not be surprised. But at the moment, I don't think it's impossible that they could still launch this month. I think they're getting really close. So I don't know if I would put money on what are they lifting up right now? I don't know if I'd put money on them launching in March, but I think it's still possible. And Need Pizza thinks they would expect to fire that Falcon 9 again. Yep, we will have to wait and see. Does anybody know how far in advance you generally see flight plans for launches? I think it really can depend quite drastically. I don't know if there's like a minimum amount of time that they need to post a flight plan prior to launch day, but I don't really know. But I don't think it. I think it can be in little as days or a day or something. But I guess, yeah, if anybody knows better, let me know. But I know, I think they got the launch license for one of their high altitude flight tests the day of launch. I think they actually pushed the T-minus time back as they were waiting for that launch license or something. I forget the exact details of that, but with this being an orbital flight test or a near orbital flight test, they might need more buffer time there to post everything. Obviously, we'll need to see TFRs, exclusion zone, MSIBs. We'll see if Boca Chica Village gets evacuated. We'll see if we see a bigger exclusion zone from what we've seen before, but I don't expect that to be the case. based on the exclusion zone we saw for the wet dress rehearsal, I do expect it to be very similar to that on launch day. Obviously, extending further out east into the Gulf for the trajectory of the vehicle. Detroit says maybe late April, but not March. Just way too much welding to finish on OLM. Yeah, like I said, if it's April, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's just hard to know exactly how much they have to do and what kind of resources they have. So just hypothetically, Detroit, like if we got an announcement that they could get the launch license as soon as March 25th, I'm just putting a random date out there, what's not to say that they couldn't double or triple the resources working on the OLM to get all that welding done quicker? I just don't know. It's just a theory, but yeah, I don't think you have an unrealistic estimate. I think it's probably more realistic to say April than March. So I think you're probably on the right path, but I do hope it's this month. Huge shout out to anybody who has subscribed today to the channel, is new to Rocket Future, and is hanging out. This is a little bit different than what we do sometimes. This is a kind of a late night stream for us. Generally speaking, we do our streams during the day, but when something's exciting happens, we get down here and do a stream as often as we can. But when it is daylight, we usually have multiple cameras, and I usually do commentary in front of a camera, so we usually have like a split screen setup where you get the live view on one side and then me doing some commentary on the other side. If anybody's hanging out here and is excited for launch day, make sure you subscribe and put notifications on so that you get notified on launch day of when we're going live. I encourage you to watch not just one YouTube channel the day of launch, but check out as many YouTube channels as you can the day of launch, because everybody's going to have a little bit different perspective and a little bit different commentary on launch day, and I really think that the way to get the best experience is to view everybody's. Though I will tell you, if my plan does work out on launch day, I think we're going to have a really awesome stream with a lot of public folks around us, just people there excited to see a launch. We're going to try to interview many people about what they think of SpaceX and Starship and Starbase and the launch. We'll talk to some people who are about to see their first ever launch, and maybe we'll get their impressions after the launch as well. We're gonna try to bring you the energy of what it's like to be there on launch day here on our stream, as long as we can get the signal that we need. I know that cellular signal is going to be totally overwhelmed. I think hopefully we should be able to get a good stream with you on Starlink. But worst case scenario, I'll be recording it all as well. But I have some major plans for our launch day stream. So make sure you stick around, subscribe to the channel, throw notifications on, whatever you need to do to get that notification when we are going to go live for launch day. Stephanie says most of the Falcon 9 launches are booked in for the year. There's expected to be a ton of Falcon 9 launches this year. I think they're averaging one every 4 days now at the Cape, or I guess in general. And just a quick update, I'm looking around Highway 4. I don't see any more sheriffs. I don't see any cones. I haven't checked in on any posts from the community about what's going up on the build site or Massey. So if anybody hears anything, please let me know. I will check my feeds as well. But again, I don't expect anything to be rolling to or from Massey's today based on the fact that there's those Jersey barriers that are bringing it basically down to one lane. There is an announcement from the pad, a PA announcement. I couldn't make it out, but I think it's probably just for loud venting. So I think we might hear some loud venting here in a minute. Senti, I see that you sent out the stream link with a really nice comment here about how we are now a partner channel and how we are now accepting donations and everything. Thank you so much for that tweet, Senti. Thank you very much for that. That is amazing. And Todd B tweeted out saying, make sure I tweet out when I go live. I haven't done that. Let me take a moment to tweet out to my community here and let everybody know that we are live. I've sent that tweet out now, and we do hear loud venting coming from the tank farm, which is usual. Pizza says nothing has moved at Massey's yet. Stephanie B says they may test the nose code in 31 anytime at Massey's. Great point. Great point there. And Detroit says, what's the weather like down there? It's a little bit, I would guess, under 70 at this point. Let me check. It's breezy, but not I wouldn't call it windy, but definitely breezy. Give me a second here. Sorry for the dings and the everything. Oh, it's not going to tell me because my doors are open. Stupid Jeep thing. Yeah, but it's probably somewhere near like 68, 70 degrees, breezy. A little on the chillier side compared to what it's been lately. But it's been unseasonably hot lately, actually. So it feels good. And it's going to get even colder in the next couple days. So I'd expect the wind to be picking up in the next 24 hours as a cold front is coming through. It looks like some of the folks that were up on the OLM have moved, but I think people are just kind of moving all around all tonight. So we're going to see them go from place to place. Rob says, hello from the Philippines. Miss being there to see all the action. Welcome, Rob. Thanks for tuning in. We're missing you down here as well. Hope you're enjoying. I saw your a couple of your pictures in the group chat. I checked in on that group chat for the first time in a while. Just because I had to shut notifications off for all my apps because everything was just going crazy all the time. But it looks like you're having a blast, so that's awesome. Thanks for popping in, Rob. Stacy just left the area yesterday, so she's on her next adventure. It's 30s in Detroit. Yeah, I am not missing the cold weather. But the good news is Detroit. I think your spring should be in action here in the next few weeks, right? It's really hard to get the focus nailed down with this lighting conditions. Oh, that's actually a little better. Oh, that's a lot better right there. All right. I just hate the artifacting that happens. But we'll next stream we'll have our second camera set up and we shouldn't have to deal with that. All right, so I figured out that the time at the top left The way I'm doing the time right now is not reliable, so I'm gonna have to figure out a new way to do that. I'll reset it for now, but we're gonna need to come up with a new idea because I can't keep having to fix that. Stephanie says early autumn here, 28°C or 82 Fahrenheit, sunny, 2:30 p.m. on Thursday. Wow, that is sounds like a nice day. How's the humidity down there? Spring will arrive to Detroit before SpaceX launches down there. That's funny, and I'm sure it's probably right. I'm sure that'll be a good change of pace after the winter. So a lot of people are starting to wonder what happens after the first flight down here. Are we going to see back-to-back quick flights? Are we going to see a second flight in short order after the first? I think it really all depends on how well the first one goes. But I'm really curious to see what we get going on after, if we're going to see a Booster 9, Ship 20. What ships are compatible with 9? Brandon up in Canada is also jealous of the weather Stephanie is getting. In Detroit, thank you, I appreciate that. Todd is here. Welcome, Todd. Todd says, let's go. Absolutely. We want to see this thing. We want to see this OLM closed up. We want to see all this work completed. We want to see Booster 7 back on the pad, Ship 24 raised onto Booster 7, and we want to see the whole stack fly in short order. Stephanie says 30% humidity. Wow, that's beautiful. 80 and 30%. That's awesome. S24 onwards, as far as I know, are compatible with B9. Gotcha. And Todd also agrees all of them, I think. So, yeah, I'll be curious. Like, you know, Booster 8 obviously was decommissioned. Booster 9 is still intact. What will we see Booster 9 mated with if we see a full stack? But let's get the 24/7 out of the way first. But those questions are starting to pop up in people's heads. Todd said, my daughter loved your last postcard. Thanks. No problem at all, Todd. Thank you so much for sharing that with your daughter as well. Really cool to see everybody get excited about what's happening down here. And for anybody who is signed up on the Patreon for monthly postcards, I'm a little bit delayed on the February postcards. I had an issue with the application that I was using, or not even application, it's a website that I was using to deliver those. But I think that issue is resolved now, so I should be able to resubmit those, and those should go out in the next couple days. But yeah, so February postcards will be coming. And if there's folks here that don't know about the Patreon, ! Patreon in the chat for a link. We have a couple different levels of membership, but if you sign up as a Patreon member in the right level, you will get a monthly postcard shipped to your mailbox every single month that you're a Patreon member, with updated photography from what's happening here at Starbase, as well as some stories on the back. So people seem to really be liking those, and I really like making them and sharing kind of the stories in a little bit different of a format. So definitely check out the Patreon if you're interested in that. Somebody put ! Patreon in chat. I like the little Rocket Future logo next to the memberships there. That's pretty cool. I should come up with some more creative ones as well. If anybody has any ideas of what I should use for membership icons, let me know. I'm always willing to take some suggestions on those fun things that the community will get as they become members. Todd, you should be able to update that on Patreon. That's the best way to do it. But if you have any problems, let me know for sure, and we can get one out to your new address. Not a problem at all. But if you update it on Patreon, that should be the best way to do it. Send me a message too, so I can double check it when you finally move. So probably your March postcard will probably be to the new address by the time I get it out. We'll see. It's a quiet night down here, other than all the work happening at Starbase itself. But the beach is real quiet. Not really a lot of folks down at the beach today. But it is the middle of the week, so not really unexpected. If it was a weekend night, I would expect a lot more activity down here. For anybody just joining us, my name is Andrew, and this is Rocket Future. We're down here at Starbase with live views of the work SpaceX is doing on the orbital launch mount, closing up some work prior to an eventual launch day we hope to see soon. We do have a intermittent road delay scheduled from 10 Central to 1 a.m. Central today. Generally speaking, those are used for rollouts or rollbacks of vehicles, or lifts, or for other testing, but there is no indication that any of that is happening imminently. So we're gonna hang out here for a while longer, but if nothing's moving by 11 something, we might have to call it and just kind of risk the chance of missing something between 11 and 1. I do have a bit of a long day tomorrow, so I do not want to stay out here all night unless something is really about to happen. Stephanie thinks Ship 25 is an obvious choice for Booster 9. And S26 and 27 also near ready. Stephanie thinks that one of the next few will be a ship that can carry Starlinks. That would be really cool to see. I know that some of the newer ships, as you stated, don't have the little Pez dispenser welded shut, and they're still usable. I think it's welded shut on S25 and 26, if I'm not mistaken. But I think S27 still has what looks to be a working Pez dispenser door. But I want to double check myself on S26 for that. Let me know. Let's zoom out a little bit here and just kind of get an idea if there's anything else going on the chopsticks or the tower. Yeah, there are folks working up at the top of the chopsticks here tonight, folks. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a good view, but let's just see if we can take a look. Is NSF, NASA Space Flight, still doing their beach campfires on Fridays? Currently they are not, though there has been, there's been some smaller groups that have been doing fires from time to time, just to kind of enjoy the beach down here. So we'll have to see it and see if those come back or not. S26 doesn't have a door at all. Gotcha. And hello, by the way. Thanks for the stream. No problem, Starbase FR. Starbase France, right? Thanks for popping in. We really appreciate that. Good to see you. So yeah, kind of tough. I'll probably go back to the OLM view here. Kind of tough to see what they might be working up on those chopsticks, but there are at least 2 folks up there working on those chopsticks. And a quick recap for anybody that's new to Starship and Starbase, these 2 arms coming off the launch tower here are called the chopsticks. They're used to lift the vehicle onto the OLM. they lift the booster onto the OLM, then they lift the ship on top of the booster, and eventually they will be hopefully used to catch a booster coming back from deploying a Starship into orbit as well, which would be absolutely insane to see. But yeah, can't really tell what they're doing up there with the angle, but there are folks working up there. We'll give you a quick zoom to the tank farm, but those lights are so dang bright, probably won't be able to see much. You can barely just see Booster 7 sticking out on the left-hand side of the orbital tank farm. You can see when the tower lights up, it reflects off of Booster 7 there. So Booster 7 is still holding tight and steady in the same place as it has been. All these yellow lights are on the orbital tank farm, where they house all the liquid oxygen and nitrogen and all of that good stuff. Methane tanks aren't quite visible from this direction. But as you can see, there is no sign of any imminent rollout or rollback. I may even be able to zoom in to show you that there's no cones out. Again, those cones on Highway 4 are always a fantastic heads up that there's going to be a potential, or that there's going to be an imminent rollback or rollout. Right up that second sign, way on the others, up the highway where all those bright lights are, there's a second yellow sign. You should see white cones behind those vehicles in that area if you're expecting to see a rollout or rollback, but nothing to indicate that is happening tonight, or at least anytime soon. But if we're not seeing those cones out there, I don't think we're seeing a rollout or rollback here at the launch site tonight. So it's 10:41 now. We're gonna still hang out with you for a while here. We're getting some great views in the meantime of the work they're doing to the OLM. While it might not be immediately as exciting as seeing a giant rocket roll down the road, it is important to appreciate these moments, as well as these are all essential steps into getting this vehicle into its flight test. So this is history. It's just a little bit of a slower pace than what we're used to, but it's all very important and all very exciting. Stephanie B says, getting ready to catch a booster? You never know. I don't expect to see that on the first flight, though, personally. And thanks again, Starbase. They said we're doing a good job. I appreciate that. Pizza says, have you met other streamers, photographers at Starbase? Yeah, I think I've met just about everybody down here. I keep in touch with almost everybody that's down here on a regular basis. A lot of them I have commands in chat for, but all the NSF folks, especially Nick, Jess is down here, Chief, RGV, Ariel. There's people that I know I'm going to miss people, but the folks at Rocket Ranch, Starship Gazer. By the way, if anybody helped out Starship Gazer tonight, or today, after hearing about some issues that he's having with his vehicle, I just want to shout everybody out that it helped Starship Gazer on some funding for getting his vehicle fixed, so he can come back out here to Starbase and continue his photography and video work. So huge shout out to you folks. Carlos Nunez, what's his handle now? Surfer, Starship Surfer, Starship, something like that. I want to make sure I get that right. I know him by his name. Starbase Surfer. See Nunez images. And I've met some folks that have visited here as well. Obviously, I've met Felix. I've met CSI Starbase, Zach. I've met the whole group. Lab Padre, of course. And everybody is so amazing, and I really love spending all the time I can hanging out with all of them. They're great people. Todd says Team Space did some amazing work today for Starship Gazer. Absolutely, Team Space was awesome. Huge community win. And Starbase FR confirms Starbase Surfer was the handle or the name I was looking for. Yeah, so it was Carlos's. His actual his @ is C Nunez Images, but his name on Twitter is Starbase Surfer. And I know I probably missed some other folks in there as well, but I love them all. I really do. I'm seeing that Stephanie B and Detroit Mission Control have tweeted out the link to the stream. Huge shout out to you. Thank you so much for sharing this. When you share things like my stream or other Starbase streams, you may reach somebody that hasn't really been tuned in to what's happening down here and may learn about what's happening down here and get a passion for spaceflight or science and technology. And that's our goal here. We want to reach as many folks as possible and help people find their passions. So thanks to everybody who is doing that. And in case you missed the news earlier, I will recap one more time. Maybe I'll recap another time before we close out. But for any folks that were a part of our stream when we were trying to hit partner status here on YouTube, but didn't hear the news, we hit the threshold. We actually slammed through the threshold and far further. So we are a YouTube partner channel now. We've already had a couple members sign up for the channel. Again, those help us in a monetary way in building the channel, and that will allow us to provide more and better content for you. So if that's something you're interested in, that is an option now. You can hit the join button on the channel and join as a member. But if you can't do that, that is okay as well. Just being here, hanging out, chatting, liking, commenting, subscribing, all of that good stuff really helps us go a long way. Helps with the YouTube algorithm, helps us reach more folks. And we do also make money through ad revenue now, so that helps us as well. So just being here will help. So we'll eventually be talking about upgrades to cameras and to equipment. There's some important backup equipment that I need for launch day that we'll be getting, all because of that being a possibility for us now. So thank you. Huge shout out to everybody that was a part of that or has been a part of the channel in any way in the last year or more. Todd says, right on, congrats. Thank you so much, Todd. You've been here for so many of these streams. You've been a really strong member of the Rocket Future community, so thank you so much. Rocket Man is tuning in. Welcome. He says good evening. Good evening, Rocket Man. I had somebody reach out to me the other day who learned about my channel through another YouTube channel that I follow that actually isn't even space-based, but apparently that channel had shouted me out. And this individual is a growing YouTube channel about weather. So they're looking to build out a weather YouTube channel. I haven't had a chance to actually take a look at the channel yet, but I'm going to share that channel with y'all on one of these streams. And I think if we if I check out the channel and it looks like they're a respectful, good person, I think we might have them join one of our streams for a few moments to talk about some weather. And I'm thinking about bringing them in on launch day, and maybe every half hour or so getting an update on the weather from a weather professional. So I think that might be cool. Detroit says, educating the public about what is happening in the space community was one of the main reasons why I started my Twitter account. That is awesome, Detroit, and that would be the same for me as well. So that's awesome to hear. Along with sharing my dog and my cooking. I'll have to check out the Twitter and find your dog pictures. And Todd is also sending out the live stream link over Twitter, so thank you, Todd, as well. It's kind of insane that we're really close to smashing through the 10,000 subscriber number there. That just blows my mind. So thanks everybody for hanging out. 90% of Todd's Twitter is space related. Yeah, I try to keep my my rocket future, my rocket future Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you can find me at the Rocket Future. And my name is Andrew-RF, and I keep that 100% space related. Maybe very occasionally I'll tweet out something else that's not space related. I try to share a little bit of kind of, personal life. Not even personal life, but, if I'm flying somewhere for an event, I'll share like some of the other passions that I have here. But that account, I do pretty much keep 100% of space, especially the people that I follow. So if I don't follow you back on Twitter, don't be offended. I have spent a lot of hours on curating my Twitter feed with specific accounts, and I really haven't really considered about following others since I kind of nailed down that just like having the feed in a good spot. But I will add people as time goes on, especially if folks are retweeting and sharing some important information about space and stuff. Rocketman says, remember to like the stream, everybody. Thank you for that reminder, Rocketman. That does help us a lot. And Jax, welcome, Jax. Big shout out to Jax for hanging out as well with us here tonight. Good to see you. For anybody just joining, we're just hanging out watching SpaceX close out work on the OLM. I say close out, but we don't really know how much work is left. But they're working on the OLM, trying to get this thing ready for launch day. Intermittent road delay was scheduled from 10 to 1. I believe it is still, I think it's still on the website. I'll check here in a minute. But no indication of anything rolling to or from the launch site to the build site. There are no cones in place. There's also Jersey barriers between the build site and Massey, so I don't expect anything to be rolling that way. So we're not quite sure what the road delay is for yet. We'll see if they make use of it at all tonight. Still about 2 hours. It's 11, 12, 1. Yeah, 2 hours to go in this window. We probably will not stay for the whole window here. If there's no indication of anything moving anywhere soon, then we'll wrap up in just a little while. One of the possibilities I was thinking of is if processes and procedures changed a little bit, that maybe they would use the delay to load the booster onto the launch mount. I just don't know if I see that happening with all the work that's happening on the launch mount today. Big shout out to the CSI Starbase family as well. Exclamation points. I think I have an exclamation point CSI in chat. The closure is still on the website, confirms Pizza. Thank you, Pizza. Folks, it's pretty crazy that the Rocket Future community continues to grow. Every time I hit that go live button, it still puts a smile on my face that folks are tuning in and checking out what's going on and hanging out here just to have conversations with not specifically me, but with each other as well. I love just to see the chat just going between each other and just talking about Starbase and Starship and space and really anything in general. It doesn't even need to be space related. I just love seeing the communities grow. Again, we're a huge team space proponent nowadays. Sometimes, team space seems like too perfect to actually happen in real life. As far as like everybody being friends and everybody being on a good page with each other, but I truly do believe that everybody working on these content and these channels are all really great. So So I'm just a huge fan of all of the channels and all of the communities that are coming together in different ways. Awesome stuff to see. I should put a couple commands into chat that links to like the MSIB site and the road closure sites. We're continuing to always iterate on our live streams a little bit. One thing I did add was a stream overlay that should show when members join and super chats are popping up, but I actually didn't see that pop up earlier, so I'll have to check on those. Let me do it. I can run a test actually. I can like simulate a fake super chat or fake membership to see if it pops up. Overlays. Thank you for your service, Detroit, and as well as your son, Todd. Pizza says, what is the MSIB site? I can link that to you shortly. Basically, there is a link that will download the most recent MSIB or Marine Safety Information Bulletin that has been posted. So it's not always updated, but let me post that in the chat now. It's msib.bocachica.com. But don't be surprised, because as soon as you click that link, it'll download a PDF. So don't get too concerned. It's expected. It is safe as long as they don't get compromised. msib.bocachica.com. All right, let's simulate a fake super chat here and see if we get a pop-up on the right-hand side of the screen. I kind of forget how to do. Oh, here we go. Super chat. Okay, it's not coming up, so let me change the link. That's not the one. All right, let's see if this works now. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the overlay is actually working, but that's all right. I'll work on that. Oh, maybe that's why. Let's try that again. Yeah, I don't know why. So I did at one point have an overlay working so that whenever we did get a new member or a super chat, or oh, we got a pad announcement. All right, we had another pad announcement, but I could not hear what it was this time. Last time it was clearly loud venting. This time I couldn't make it out, so let's see if we hear some loud venting here shortly. But yeah, as I was saying, we had an overlay working for new new members and super chats and stuff, but it's just not working. Oh yeah, Todd, I can't imagine that they would like that. Oh, there it is. All right. Okay, so we're definitely going to need to make some changes to that to make it a little bit more visible. I wonder where it should go to. Maybe I'll have it like pop up above the rocket future or something. But for now, we do have that overlay working. So if any other members or super chats come in, we should be able to get them on the overlay. Okay, folks, I'm going to take 2, 3, maybe 5 minute commentary break here again, just to walk up towards the entrance to the launch site, just to see if I see any indication of any exciting activity happening. And I'll report back again. I'd say give me about 5 minutes. My camera's been holding up tonight. It was doing some freezes earlier, so if it freezes, just hold tight. I'll be back. So any questions anybody has, feel free to drop those in the chat. I will answer those when I get back. So I'll be back. 5 minutes. All right. Here's an update. Not a big update, but again, no indication of anything rolling to or from the build site. I will say that there is a ton of work being done everywhere in around the OLM, OLIT. It's crazy. There's still a ton of work going over near the booster quick disconnect. There's folks up on the ship quick disconnect. There's folks up on the arm. People under the pad, on top of the pad, around the pad, halfway up their tower. They're working. They are balls to the walls, for lack of a better term, on everything here. So hey, I'm gonna try to move the Jeep and get us a better view. It's gonna take me a minute here to break down one of my tripods that I was gonna set up with a second camera, but just had an issue with that second camera. But anyway, I gotta break down this tripod, which will take just about a minute, and then I'm gonna move the Jeep, and we probably will lose signal for, I'd say, 1 to 3 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, or maybe we won't lose signal at all. But when we start moving, first of all, the camera is gonna look terrible because it's just gonna be it's probably just gonna be facing like a black sky or something. So give me a minute to get in place for Starlink to get connected, and for me to adjust my camera. So we should be situated by, I'd say, 11:15 Central Time. So let me do that now. Stick with us if it gets a little dicey here for the next few minutes. So yeah, stay tuned. 1 second. All right, gonna move the Jeep. Stick with us. Alright, so are we still connected? We are. Okay. I don't know how well we will be connected, but I'll give it a couple minutes to see. Let me adjust the cameras. As you can see, we're right at the tank farm now. Looks like we have decent connection. Sometimes the tank farm will block our Starlink, but right now, hopefully, we're okay. We are way out of zoom, but I'll fix that. Don't you worry. So let's first take a look at that work being done near the booster quick disconnect. And it's just barely blocked by the tank farm infrastructure there. But actually, it's not really blocked. It's almost blocked. Five by five. Say hi to Vix, right? Absolutely. We were talking about the tank farm, so hello, Vix. So you can see some folks working up there. Hard to really make out exactly what they're doing. Obviously welding, but what are they welding? And where are they welding? We'll come back to those folks here in a minute, but let's see what else is happening. Let's see if I can find those folks that are working on the ship disconnect. Or halfway up the tower like I was seeing earlier, or if we can see any of the folks that are working on the arms. I don't see the folks that are working on the arms at the moment. Let's go up to the quick disconnect on the ship for the ship and see if I can see those folks still. Again, in future streams, we should have better quality for our video here. We are using our secondary camera and not our primary camera due to a technical issue, but it should be fine by next stream. Detroit says that was my favorite parking spot when I was down at Starbase. A great view. Absolutely, it is a fantastic view. However, there is a section of the road now that has a little bit of an extra area carved out so that the trucks can get in and out. So on a busy night, I don't always stay around here, but I do notice connectivity kind of coming in and out. Let me check where my Starlink is pointed. Okay, it's not pointed anywhere near. Not pointed anywhere near the tank farm, so it shouldn't be being blocked by the tank farm. There is one sign that could be kind of in the way, but yeah. So I don't see those folks working on the ship disconnect right now. And then there was a ton of sparks coming out the right-hand side of the tower just a little while ago. But this view will also give us a pretty good view. Oh, yeah, you can see some flashing going on. You know, not the white flashing, not the green flashing, but right in between the folks working inside of the tower there. And obviously a good view of Booster 7 here, which I'm very happy to see still here at the launch facility and not rolled back. So it's 11:19 here. Let's I'm gonna get. We just dropped out Starlink handoff tonight with just the hope that something is happening. So if there's an indication of something happening, I will. Oh, we're dropped out again. Back up a little bit, see if that helps at all. Yeah, sorry. I am trying to multitask here and figure out why Starlink is dropping, but also explain how I'm not going to be out here too much longer if it is nothing imminent happening. Mauser just informed us that a stand was moved from Massey's to Sanchez. Ah, okay. So that could have been the reason for the road delay. Most likely the reason for the road delay. Yeah, I was pretty certain that we weren't going to see anything move between Massey's and the build site or Sanchez site because of those Jersey barriers. But I guess the test stand is small enough to just go down that single lane. So that's really good to know. I I can't imagine they'd be able to roll anything much bigger between the two sites. With that Jersey barrier thing halfway between the two lanes, but no, interesting, cool. Well, that's good to know. Now we know. So let's hang out here for another 8 minutes, and just kind of look at the work they're working on here, and then we'll wrap it up for the night. And hopefully we'll get some exciting roll out videos soon of Ship 24 when it comes back to the build site, or back to the launch site, whenever that might be. And hopefully we'll get some good lifting footage soon, when both Ship 7 is lifted onto the pad and Ship 24 is lifted on top of 7. Starlink is definitely struggling now. It doesn't like this where I moved to, and I don't know why. I wonder if this sign is just too close that it's giving interference. But it's good enough for now, and for the next few minutes until we close out. Anything specific anybody wants to see prior to us closing up stream tonight here at the launch site? I would try to get some video of Ship 24, but it's not going to be doable with this lighting back at the rocket garden. But I am interested in seeing those panels, those heat shield tiles filled in. I'm excited to see that. I'll try to get some shots of that sometime in the next few days. But thank you, thanks Todd for letting us know about the stand being moved from Massey's to the Sanchez site. That explains it. This is kind of a tough view to see what we're looking at, but the foreground you can ignore. That's just some of the orbital tank farm infrastructure, but you'll see the orbital launch mount behind that, and that big black bulbous thing coming off the right hand side of the orbital launch mount is the quick disconnect stuff for the booster. What's happening with the water deluge? I don't see anything from this angle. It's really hard to tell. I would have to go up onto the dunes, which I don't think I'm equipped for tonight. I can't see anything from this angle about anything happening to the water deluge system. Todd says the last 2 tiles went in today. That is correct. From the angle that we can see from the road, it looks like the 2 tiles were filled in. I'd be curious if there's any on the other side that are missing, but those being filled in, I think, is a fantastic step towards getting S24 back here. Obviously, I don't think they were in a huge rush to fill those tiles with everything that they had to do with OLM and booster and stuff. So obviously, I don't think that was holding them up. But really, really good to see that they're still working on 24. And the fact that they closed up those 2 tiles makes me wonder if they're starting to get closer to being able to roll it back down. So, very good. Look at the new pipes and the trailers. Can we see those from here, Senti? Is it these pipes, or are we talking about pipes on the OLM? In the trailers. Are those water filter trailers on the right? Below OLM. Is it? Oh, we get a pad announcement. So much echo from these. No worries, Senti. So much echo from the pad announcements. Again, I couldn't really make out what that pad announcement was. Whoa, what was that? Was that just a bird up in the top right? I don't know what the heck that was. Keep going right. Okay. Can do. I'm wondering if you're talking about that trailer that I'm just out of view of now. I'll go back to that just in case that's what you mean. Yeah. So let's go back to this trailer. A nice bike there. Is this what we're talking about here? At the end of the wall, they put a couple of trailers. We talking about this? I'll also zoom out and go way to the left in case we're talking about down that way. Oops, sorry. I'm losing control of the IP camera. Now let me go way to the left in case we mean down there. I didn't see anything further to the right. Where those new pipes lead. I might be missing. Oh, are you talking about way down here? If I'm missing it, I believe Senti is referring to the area by the entrance gate. Okay, let me go over there. Holy crap, Booster 7 is depressing. Booster 7 is depressing. That was loud. Sorry, let me get you there. Holy crap, that scared me. Sorry that the camera is being obnoxious. My whole car is shaking. Wow. That was a huge depress. So, folks, does that mean anything for a lift tonight, or is that random? Wow, that was something. That was loud. I wish I had earplugs in. Detroit says random. Yeah, I don't know if I quite got it on. So the really tough part of these, but like I was saying, yeah, it was hard to get the camera facing the right way just because of this IP camera latency stuff. But when we get the second camera back up and running for the next streams, we should be able to very quickly move the camera for events like that, and that should be a lot easier. So that was kind of cool. Detroit says the booster is kept under pressure. So Right. So do they just depress from time to time to make sure it's not overpressurized? Booster is supposed to be compressed at all times, as far as I know. Starlink is struggling. Yeah. Well, hey, let me I'm gonna wrap up here in just a few minutes, but just before I do, just give me any indication. Does anybody know if that is just kind of run of the mill, making sure that Booster 7 is kept pressurized but not over pressurized, or if that would be any indication of seeing something happen with Booster 7 here, or do we think that's just kind of normal and not any indication of anything happening? Welcome, Jacob Robinson. When is it going to launch? Hopefully, real soon. I'm hoping in the next coming days, weeks, or worst case, months. But we really could see it launch. Detroit says normal ops. Senti says it's not indicative of a move, but could be a sign. Gotcha. If those folks are still working on the OLM, I think I'm going to probably call it. Especially where Starlink's kind of being a pain here. And hey, worst case scenario, if I lost control of my camera completely. Worst case scenario, if they move Booster 7 on the pad tonight, which, it very well might not happen. It's not the end of the world. We'll have plenty more coverage to get when Ship 24 rolls back and all that good stuff. But oh man, they are not working up there anymore. Dang, folks. Booster is kept pressurized during a move. Yeah. It's this is just usual me not wanting to miss anything exciting. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. If something happens, it happens. We can't capture everything, but we're gonna capture as many things as we can. So here it is. Thanks everybody for hanging out in the stream tonight. My name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future. Thanks for everybody hanging out. Huge shout out to our first ever super chat that we received from Senti, and our first ever mid-bay member from Stephanie. Huge shout out to everybody that was hanging out here today. I'm going to miss people, but Detroit, Pizza, Stephanie, Brandon, Senti, I think I already said Detroit, Dad, Todd, Jax, Starbase FR, Rocketman, Todd, I said, Stephanie, Jacob. Yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. Oh, and Astro Joe, welcome to hanging out on the stream today. Thanks for becoming our first ever High Bay member. That is super awesome. Thank you so much, Astro Joe. That, again, is going to go right back into the channel and allow us to bring more bigger and better content. And Detroit Mission Control with the 99-cent super chat. Thank you so much. This support is fantastic. This is great. The alert on the top right, we're going to adjust that. We'll work on that. So much stuff. We have all this stuff that we want to do on the channel, and it's just really exciting that we're now getting the ability to be able to put some more money into the channel with your help, with super chats, memberships, ad revenue, and just hanging out. So that's all I got for today. Stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe, notifications for Ship 24 rollout whenever that might be. And of course, for launch day, we have so many big plans for launch day for our stream. So